all the things that we learned at that event, you know what I mean? All the things that we spoke about, that we actually put in those things into play. And we actually activate in those things throughout the year to make not just ourselves, but our families and our communities better.
Right. What up, y'all? It's your boy, DJ Hollywood, man, here at Blake Annex for another dope interview, man. Shout out to Blake Annex for basically sponsoring this podcast, man, in their new podcast room. So if you're looking to host your own podcast, make sure you come on down to Blake Annex, downtown Albany, New York. I think it's 1 Steuben Street. Can anyone confirm? Anyone? No, you got Google it, all right? Yeah. 1 Steuben Street, pretty sure. And got another dope guest in the building. We did a part 1 on WCDB 90.9 FM, but we are here to do the follow-up part 2 as promised. So without further ado, man, we got my guy, Angelo Justice Maddox Jr. in the building.
Yo, thank you for having me, man.
No problem, man. No problem.
This is the part 2. We got to make the part 2 even better than part 1. Know what I'm saying?
Man, listen.
It's the sequel. You know, a lot of times the sequel is not as good as part 1, but we're gonna do away with that.
We gonna level up every time.
Absolutely.
It's a promise. We're gonna level up every time, man.
That's what we do.
So thank you for coming through, man. And how was your day? You know, I gotta do the check-in first. We can't just like dive into the interview, man. How you doing?
Listen, I'm doing great, man. I'm feeling great, you know. Been having a productive day. You know, the day's been going well. It was a beautiful day outside today. So, you know,
Facts.
That energy of seeing the sun and everything like that just got me inspired.
Yeah.
You know, on another level. You know, it's definitely pushing the frequency up to another level. So,
I love that.
I feel great.
You got a favorite, so you talking about the sun. So you got a favorite like season? You know, you a summer dude, spring dude, fall with the, you know, the swag and all that? Like what?
Nah, like I like all seasons, you know what I'm saying? Because all seasons have their purpose, you know what I'm saying? So
okay.
I generally like all seasons, you know what I mean? Because I know that's probably like one of the things that we as humans can't really control. You know, it's always going to be spring, fall, summer,
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
Winters, you know what I mean? We just got to properly prepare for each one that's going to come about. So I just, you know, roll with the punches of each season that comes about, you know, and just do the best I can in every one.
I like
so
that.
yeah, I don't
like
really
that.
have a favorite season. I pretty much like them all, you know.
He said he show up every single season. He shows up.
That's a whole
so
fact.
Let's hop into the book, man. We see it right here, man. Change the world by changing yourself, man. You an author now, man.
Yes.
Published.
Yes.
That's dope, man. That's dope. So how was that feeling of publishing a book, man? And it's your first one, right?
Yeah, this is my first literary offering to the world right here. Is Change the World by Changing Yourself is a success manual, if you will, you know, because you look at yourself, you know what I'm saying, inside the mirror, and you got to pull out the best parts of yourself, you know what I mean, and give that offering to the world so that you can do what you can to not just change yourself, but also impact and change the world. So that book is a success manual full with tools that can actually help you grow and be your best self.
I love that, man. I love that. So reading through the book, I hear a lot of like faith, confidence, and like authority. So like where did that come from in regards of like, you know, where did the first moment of self-belief start for my guy Angelo, man?
I grew into it. It's something I called the swag journey, which means succeeding with attainable goals. You know, like you constantly go through different levels and stages of just gaining your self-confidence and gaining belief in yourself, you know, and throughout those different levels, you gain your confidence. You know that you can, like, it's like going to the gym. You know, when you go to the gym, you lifting weights, you know, the first time you go in the gym, you ain't going to be able to lift that weight. You know what I'm saying?
Weak, right.
You know, you're going to be like, you're going to be struggling. And then the more that you consistently do it, you build that confidence, you build that strength in it, and you go and you're able to just actually bench press, and then you add more weight, and you just know that you can, because you end up lifting the whole gym after going to the gym consistently time and time again, because you done built that muscle up enough to have that strength to do whatever you want to do inside that gym. So the same thing happened in life.
I like that. I like that. They say a lot in sports is muscle memory, but it's also, you know, like it's a lifestyle thing too, you know, like if you if you wake up, they say the brain's a muscle. So if you wake up every day at a certain time, your brain would eventually, get into that muscle memory of, hey, it's 4 o'clock, it's 5 o'clock, it's 6 o'clock, let's wake up.
Right.
So I like that analogy. So now, what made you choose this cover, man? Let's talk about the cover. All white book. Change the world's in green, by changing yourself is in blue, and then you got the man in the mirror whirling his hand, and of course the I am King crown, man. So what? Let's get the details on the cover.
Well, we got to always know that the world is in our hands. We have control over first our world. Immediately, and then the world. Is many things that we can do as men and women to actually change the world in and of itself, with our ideas. We have life-changing ideas and things that has drastically disrupted the way that we interact and conduct our everyday lives, whether
Right.
it's cell phones, whether it's airplanes, whether it's social media. All of these things was ideas in people's minds that once they gave birth to it and devoted themselves the time and energy to seeing those things come to fruition, they actually changed the whole dynamic of how we live and exist on this planet. So the same power exists within each and every one of us.
Right.
So the colors on the book was actually just to pay homage to the world. With the white is the clouds. You know what I mean? When we look up in the sky, we see the clouds. And we oftentimes, being land creatures, we forget that the earth is surrounded by 3/4 of water. So
Right.
surrounded by that water all the time. But we are on earth, and we have to check in with that water because the water keeps us fluid.
Facts.
They say wisdom is the way. You know what I'm saying? So once we find out about ourselves, we know ourselves, we are able to flow like that water, that surrounds us every single day. And when we look in the mirror, we find ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
We know that we are our biggest competition. We should be our biggest ally. You know what I'm saying? And once we know who we are and we bring out that divine self, you know what I'm saying, then we can actually take charge of our world, and we actually give our world the color that is within it.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. And like I said before, the man is looking in the mirror, and he's got the crown on. He's got
Yes.
the crown on. And with the crown, now we got to talk about the I am King, man. Makings of a man. We got to talk about that. Shout out to Markia Robinson.
Yeah,
She
absolutely.
did a super dope what how does she coin the name? It's a men's
It's a men's conference.
conference.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes.
it's a conference for men so that we can tap into our higher selves, get empowered, inspired, and just connect. You know what I mean? It's an annual event. Before we go into the making of a man, though,
Yeah. Go ahead, go
I
ahead.
have to say
Go ahead.
this Blake Annex was named after Adam and Catherine Blake. They was famous former slaves
Oh,
that
wow.
actually built the Kenmore Hotel. The
Right next door.
Adam Blake Jr. built the Kenmore Hotel, and his wife ran it after his death. They was they the street was renamed from Steuben to Adam and Catherine Blake Street on April 6th. And I actually did the keynote for that street naming. So it's big to point out that this is, yes, it used to be Steuben, but let's point out that it's Adam and Catherine Blake Street now.
That's dope,
That the
man.
Blake Annex exists on. And the Blake Annex is in honor of Adam and Catherine Blake.
That's dope, man. I
Yes.
actually didn't know that backstory, so that was a
Yeah.
good little fun fact in there.
Absolutely,
Nah, that's dope.
absolutely.
That's dope. I did see you at the. I know they had the street revealing. I seen
Yes,
you. I seen you
yes.
there that day.
Yes,
So
that was the renaming of the street.
yeah, I didn't know the other details behind it. So that's super dope, man. But you said you did a keynote there, but you also did a keynote at the Makings of a Man, I Am
Yes.
King
Yes.
edition. And it was a dope speech, man. Dope
Thank you.
speech.
Thank you.
And yeah, man, that day was just, super powerful in regards to just all the elements. She
Yeah.
had and she, as in Miss Markia Robinson, she had tying workshops and barbershop talk and
Yes.
the food was good. Like it was just a super welcoming and just powerful environment.
Absolutely.
So shout
Had
out
a
to Marquia for that.
strategy panel,
Yep.
telling us about our business, how to start, grow, and scale our businesses. All the different elements that go into entrepreneurship and running small businesses and turning those small businesses into big businesses. You know what I mean? Because we always got to think bigger than where we start. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
So
right.
all of those elements was included in the Making of a Man conference that happened on August 6th.
Yep, yep.
Yes, and I'm still high. I'm still
Yeah.
high. I think I'm coming down. You know what I'm saying? Yo, it was
That's what
so
we
impactful.
hear.
And listen, I was just speaking to a king earlier about that. Like, yo, we gotta make sure that we not keeping those type of events to just be annual. We got to check in with one another, know what I'm saying?
Facts,
To make
facts,
sure
facts.
that we staying up on that energy and staying connected and staying networking because, just to have that once a year is tremendous in and of itself. But then we have to do the work as men to make
Correct,
sure that
correct.
all the things that we learned at that event, you know what I mean? All the things that we spoke about, that we actually putting those things into play. And we actually activating those things throughout the year to make not just ourselves, but our families and our communities better.
Facts, facts,
Because if
facts.
we just leave it to the next year, we'd be like, yo, everything that happened in this year, like, yeah, I got into an accident, this happened, this happened. Nah, but if we checking in with one another constantly, then we can always make sure that we actually holding each other accountable and actually following up on the things that we learned at the event and actually said we was gonna do.
Yeah, I
You know what
agree.
I mean?
I agree. So, the great Nipsey Hussle, man, he said, "Hustle and motivate." I know you got the hustle in you, but I know you got a young king as well.
Yes.
You got a son. So,
Yes.
how do you motivate, the young king? Because I know you got it in you, but how do you pass that on to, your young buck?
Yes, 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 yes. The young G's, know what I mean? The ones that's
Facts.
coming up after me. The best way that I pass it on to my sons and my daughter is just by example. I feel like that's the best way to teach, is by example. Of course, every chance I get, being who I am, I always strive to impart some wisdom and drop some jewels on them and try to teach them uh, through my words, but mainly through my actions. You know what I mean? They see me activating and see me active in the community, in life. The way that I interact with their mother. You know what I'm saying? All of those things are very key and important to being or teaching them how to move in life and how to go beyond me. And I just saw this I want to say it was a meme or something on social media that was talking about the only man that's going to be truly happy for you in life is your father. That wants to actually see you do better. And I sent that to my son, so it was just like they understand that to be true
Yeah.
because they know that there's nobody on this earth that probably want them to succeed more than their parents. You know what I'm
Facts,
saying?
facts, facts.
And man wise, I'm the only man or the most inspiring or encouraging man that want to see my sons do better than me. So I always impart them with that. You know what I'm saying? And always
Right.
push them and motivate them. And along with the motivation comes the discipline. You know what I'm
Right. Of
saying?
course, of
Because the
course.
motivation gets you going, the discipline keeps you growing. So you know what I'm saying? I tell them to stay motivated, but at the same time, it's the discipline part of it as well. Just being consistent in what you want or say you want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So all of those pieces, but definitely just by leading by example is the biggest piece.
That's dope. That's dope. So now, uh, back to makings of a man, real quick, man.
Yeah.
So you, you had the one headphone in. You was bumping that pregame Pusha T. You feel me? So, how does one, on that note, how does one prepare, for a keynote speaking moment? You said that wasn't your first one.
Yes.
It was the most recent, but not the first one.
Yes.
The most recent, but not the last. So how do you go about something that pivotal, because a lot of people are coming to basically see you. You are the key moment within these.
The whole event. Yeah.
Exactly. So how do you go about prepping for that?
Listen, it depends on what the event. and the theme of the event, but mostly it goes along the same structure. I always, check in with that higher power. And I do my best to be obedient to that voice, that because it could have went in a lot of different directions in the way that the message came about, and I just try to tap into my higher self, connect to that energy and know what the energy of the room is going to be. I know what the basis of the theme of the event was, knowing that it was going to be I Am King.
Yep.
And it's just based on how I want to come across that and deliver that message so that it's going to resonate with everybody in the building. Know what I'm saying? That's going to be there, and I want to make sure that it's connecting with that energy. And the best way I do that is just to check in with that higher power. You know what I mean? Let that voice that's within me speak to me. Yeah. And then, I just be obedient, listen, know what I'm saying, and going that way and make sure that I practice and I stay on point with the way that I'm supposed to deliver it so that it can hit the way it's supposed to hit. And I just go.
So do you write it out word for word? You doing bullet points? Like how you kind of structure it?
This one in particular, I did more bullet points because a lot of it I knew already. Like, I started it out with a prayer.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that prayer, like I wrote that prayer in 1999 while I was incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? I was in the cell and I've been memorized that prayer. So I knew like this prayer was the foundational piece. This is the point that I'm going to connect all the dots to where the keynote is going to go. You know what I'm saying? And just understanding or letting it hit. And it came to me in that probably like 2 weeks before that, this is what you need to start out this keynote with, because if you really look at it, it has all the elements of what being a king is all about. You know what I mean? Being a man of your word. You know what I'm saying? Making sure that you go through hell while you living, but having character. You know what I'm saying? Having all of those principles in line of being who you say that you are. And that prayer embodied that. You know what I'm saying? So I just basically built off of that. You know what I mean? So it was a little bit different. You know what I mean? The voice could come to you in many different ways. You just got to be in tune. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was more bullet points for this one because, like I said, I just had a lot of it already memorized. You know what I'm saying? And I just went from there just to build around it.
I like that. And like I said, man, it was definitely a dope, dope keynote.
Yes,
and
thank you.
Yeah, you did your thing, man. It was super powerful. So speaking of powerful, man, I got a name. I got a name for you, and you tell me your thoughts, and then we go from there.
Okay.
Percy West.
Percy West.
When I say Percy West, what comes to mind, and what's your thoughts?
That's a comrade, man. That's my comrade, man. My brother. He's also the writer of the foreword in my book, Change the World by Changing Yourself. He's like disciplined fighter. He's a freedom fighter. You know what I mean? He's still fighting for his freedom right now. Just to give the people a little bit of insight, Percy West was a king that I met while I was incarcerated. He is actually received a sentence of 133 years to life for a botched robbery that didn't he didn't murder nobody, he didn't rape nobody. He just ended up in wounding 2 police officers in a shootout that happened in connection to the armed robbery, and he received his sentence when he was 19 years old.
That's crazy.
I forgot the exact year, but it was in 1990s, in the 1990s, and he's currently been incarcerated for over 31 years, and he's still fighting for his freedom to this day. And he was someone that I met while I was incarcerated, and he was just so intelligent, like with the law, with life, and just in tune with his higher self. You know what I'm saying? He was an example of a king before I identified myself as a true king. You know what I'm saying? And he just walked around like that, you know what I mean? And he embodied that. And he just had, I would have never known that he had that amount of time, because I look at myself, I caught a 1 to 3 and I end up doing 3 years.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at him like I probably would have went crazy if I would have had all of that time. But that brother, the way that he held himself down and the way that he conducted himself was like, it was just so disciplined and on a higher level And he taught me so much in the course of me being there, you know what I'm saying? About, just how to conduct yourself, how to be disciplined, you know what I'm saying? In your walk, in your life, you know what I'm saying? So he's definitely a comrade of mine, and I'm definitely honored to have come across him and know him. And, I'm willing that his freedom, he will receive his physical freedom, sooner than later.
Yeah. Facts, man. Shout out to Percy.
Yes.
While we on the topic of the book as well, so what was the process like in writing the book and writing your first book? Like, were there any lessons that you learned while writing it? Any bumps in the road? It's your first one, so
Yes.
it's always gonna be new experiences and just things that I didn't know that, now I know this. So what can you speak on in regards of being a first time author and writing your first book? What was that process like?
Yeah, the first time writing this book, it was because I did a lot of journaling in the process of writing this book or completing this book. And I think that the biggest step that I needed to take was just to sit my behind down and actually put it together, because I had this book in my mind probably for like 3 years prior to me completing it. And, it just got to the point where, getting back to that word obedient, just knowing that it was something that I have an assignment that I need to complete. And then once I had that assignment, he's like, yo, sit your behind down and complete that assignment, because you letting everything else that's going on in your life lead you in other directions. Like, yo, you got this, you got your business, you working, you know what I'm saying? Regular life issues going on. Like, yo, sit your behind down and finish this book, because this book needs to be submitted to the world. You know what I'm saying? The world needs to have this book. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't put it on your, this is my inner voice right here.
Yeah.
Say, like, I ain't put this book in your spirit for you not to finish this assignment. So it was just, I think that was the biggest part in the process of completing this book, is just being obedient enough to sit down. And when you have an assignment, when you have an idea, the creator don't put things on your spirit for no reason.
You gotta execute.
He's telling you, like, yo, this is what I want you to do. You know what I'm saying? And if you follow suit, it's always gonna be a blessing to you. You never know how it's gonna come back 10, 100 times fold. But once you finish the assignment, it just opened up so many other doors for you. But that whole process, I think sitting down was the first step, and actually putting it together, writing it. And there was just so many other things that I learned, like in the actual manuscript process, the editing process, the actually getting my book cover to be what I saw in my mind. You know what I'm saying? And conveying that message to a designer, like, yo, this is what I see in my mind. And they coming up with 100 things that was not what I saw, but that was good. And then at the same time, being steadfast on what your vision was. You know what I'm saying? Because they might have some good ideas, but that's not what your vision was. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to redirect. You be like, and then you don't want to settle at all as well, because it's like, yo, yeah, I like that. But you got to keep on reminding. I had to keep reminding myself that, nah, that wasn't my vision. So I had to make sure that I got my vision across to the designer, to make sure that the book cover came out according to the way that I saw it in my mind.
So chapter 1, man, you started off, and I just love how you go about, it's the book is very digestible,
Yes.
To I would say to all ages. A
Yes.
teenager could read this and really, like, understand and, like, get where you're going from. In the introduction, you started off with the definition. Change, make someone or something different, alter or modify, replace something with something else, especially something of the same kind that is newer or better. And I love how you do the definition thing, because even with the making of the man speech,
Yes.
you started off and you said, who knows the definition of sacrifice?
Right.
And shout out to my guy, little Jerry, man.
Yeah.
He responded and said, putting someone up for like offering or something like that. And it's funny because we paused and we were like,
Yeah,
nah,
you're
you're
right.
actually right. You're actually right.
I wasn't thinking that way. But yeah, but you're right. Yeah, absolutely.
But initially you were saying the definition was
To give up something of a lesser value to gain something of a higher value. Yes, and that is really like what we have to do. You know what I mean? It's just like to break it down in like smaller terms, like when we sacrifice going out or going to the club for staying at home and doing our assignment or writing, you know what I'm saying? Or making sure that we staying steadfast on our goals, or just for saving money. You know what I'm saying? When we make that sacrifice, like, listen, I'm a sit this party out. I'm gonna sit this vacation out.
Right.
I'm gonna make sure that I make these necessary sacrifices because I know I have this goal in mind. You know what I'm saying? I want to buy a house. You know what I'm saying? I want to buy this property. So I gotta stack my money in order until I'm ready. So you make that necessary sacrifice. You giving up something of a lesser value, which was going on that vacation or going to the club to go out for a night, spending unnecessary money, and you putting it to a higher value, which is, all right, this is my goal. This is what I want to do. I want to buy this car. I want to buy this house. I want to buy this property. So that's the thing of the higher value that you sacrificing the smaller things for. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I feel like you a big like dictionary guy. Do you have a favorite word in regards to just, like words that stand out to you? I'll give you an example. My word over the past couple years has been grit, which is like a synonym for like resilience, like never giving up. So what's your like grit word, I would say, if you got one?
Yeah, well, that's easy, man. The first word, great. Great.
Okay.
I'm addicted to great. You know what I'm saying? Good is average. You know what I'm saying? And I always strive to be great. You know what I mean? Even since I was young, I got that Tony the Tiger in me. You know what I mean? So I always want to be great. I never want to be average. I never want to do things that's mediocre. I always want to strive for excellence and be great. So I would say great is my favorite word. I use it in everything. I don't even say good afternoon. I say great afternoon. You know what I'm saying? When I talk to somebody, yeah. So great is definitely, I'm addicted to that word.
I like that, man. You know me with the 8 in my name. I throw the GR8, and we gonna make it work. We gonna make it work. So everything great. It ain't good. Everything is great. So I like that one. So now chapter 2 in the book, man. It's called
Swag Journey.
Swag Journey.
Absolutely.
And swag stands for
Succeeding
with attainable goals.
Yes, sir.
You talked about that a little bit before, but let's dive into that a little bit, man, because what does that mean to you in regards of, succeeding with attainable goals? We'll speak on it a little bit.
When I tell like students that I come in contact with, I put it in the context of like what Jay-Z was saying when he was like, I'm a hustler now. My gear is in and I'm in the in crowd. And all the wavy light-skinned girls is loving me now. My self-esteem went through the roof, man. I got my swag. So all of those things right there that he said, those was his goals at that time. Know what I mean? The wavy light-skinned girls, know what I'm saying? Got his gear in order. He in the in crowd. Those was his goals at that time. And once he achieved those goals, he was like, yo, my swag is solidified right now. Know what I'm saying? And then he didn't stop there, obviously, because his goals continued to get bigger and greater, and they changed over time.
Right.
Because once you achieve one goal, you want to keep being ambitious, and you having that mindset and that confidence and that belief in yourself. You like, yo, I can go and achieve anything. You know what I'm saying? And that point in his life, he was like, yo, this thing is solidified. The same thing happened with each and every one of us. Know what I mean? It's a journey. Know what I'm saying? The swag journey, we succeed with attainable goals. And every goal that we set is attainable. We just got to know and have the confidence that we can actually obtain it. Know what I'm saying? Or get to that goal. Know what I mean? And the more goals that we attain, the more success we achieve. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it is a continuous journey. So it don't stop until the casket drop. Know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So we continue on being successful.
So on that note, do you ever set like, I wouldn't even want to say unattainable goals, but like you ever set like goals that you like, this, like I don't even know like an example that I would put, because it is all attainable. I 100% get the mindset, but do you ever set goals that you're like, dang, I might have to like do something like create the odds of this happening type thing, like, so but even on that note, how do you go about setting your goals? Do you set it top of the year? Do you set it, like Like, are you setting goals now for 2024 already? Like, how does that work for you with, setting these attainable goals?
Yeah, I definitely have goals for 24 and 25. Like sometimes that a goal that you set is gonna be a 3 or 5 year goal from now. You know what I'm saying? Versus something that you can do in a short period of time. You know what I mean? Like it's if you're doing 3 miles or 5K at a certain amount of time, you like, all right, in a couple of months I could get my time from 30 minutes to 28 minutes or 27 minutes, you know what I'm saying? But versus if you like, yo, I want to run a marathon, that might take about 6 months to a
Yep.
year
Yep.
to actually prepare and condition yourself to be able to do that. So definitely some goals are more long term, and you set milestones for each goal. Like if you like, all right, boom, I know I need $1 million in order to set this or buy this property or buy it or start this business or something.
Right.
It's not that you wait till you get the $1 million. You start studying, you start learning ways, you know what I mean? And you start collecting the necessary resources so that when the money comes, because if you're working towards it,
Yeah.
it's definitely gonna come. It might come sooner than you think if you
Facts,
actually
facts,
working
facts.
towards. So you set milestones for you to achieve that goal that's more long term or more of a 3 or 5 year out goal. You know what I'm saying? And as you walk towards that goal, you start to obtain it.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely, you start to hit milestones and say, hey, oh, all right, boom, I'm already at 150. I'm already at 200. You know what I'm saying? And then you like, all right, boom, before long, it might open up the door to be like, yo, you can get that for 10% of what you thought you
Right.
paid to
Right,
get
right,
that.
right.
You know what I'm saying? If you know what I mean, talk to the right people. So, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's about relationships as well. And then having a mindset of knowing that you are goal orientated and you moving in the direction of obtaining your goals, then those people, those places,
Yep.
all of those things will start coming into play.
Law of
And before,
attraction. Yep. Yep.
absolutely.
Yep.
And before you
Facts.
know it, know what I mean? That goal gets obtained. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? But you
Facts.
definitely have to set milestones and know that some goals are short term and others are long term.
I like that. So I'm gonna hit you with some names, man. You see, I got the Lakers jersey on. We gotta go to the Lakers real quick, man. So that's the Lakers, and Kobe Bryant, Mamba, Michael Jackson, Bob Marley, Nipsey Hussle. So now, what does it mean to you to leave a legacy, and how important is that to you?
Listen, first, rest in peace to all of those
Facts,
great
facts.
kings. Actually, today is Kobe Bryant's birthday.
Oh, is
May he
it?
rest in peace.
That's crazy.
Yes. Rest in power. Yes. You
That's
know,
crazy. Rest in peace, Kobe,
yeah,
man.
man. You know
Crazy.
the presidents that each and every one of them left. They was all great in their own perspectives in their own ways. You know what I mean? So definitely shout out to each and every one of them. Definitely want to keep that spirit alive that they brought to us. You know what I'm saying? And energy never dies; it just get transferred. You know what I mean?
Facts,
So
facts, facts.
we still embodying that Mamba spirit, that Michael Jackson spirit, that Bob Marley spirit, and
Nipsey Hussle.
and the definitely the Nipsey hustle, you know what I
Facts.
mean? Hustle and motivate, you know what I mean? All of their spirits, you know what I'm saying, was definitely one and the same, but definitely different in the way that they
In their own,
expressed them, you know what I mean? So each and every one of those kings was mighty in their own way, and they definitely left a long-standing legacy. So for me, it's very important to leave a legacy and to do everything that I can. Like my motives and the things that I do on a daily basis, I always keep in mind how is this gonna set a precedence or live and exist outside of my physical existence. So I don't even want to do things that's just gonna be good for me. I want to do things. I want to plant all of the necessary seeds that will outlive me and make sure that the things that I'm doing has a legacy and can actually benefit not just my children but my children's children. You know what I'm saying? And if I could pass it on to even my great 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 grands in my lifetime, then I want to do that as well. So it's nothing that I really do that I want to just benefit me. I wanted to make sure that it's sustainable for generations to come. So
I like that.
legacy is very, very important to me.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. And you got a legendary move going on right now. Cap City Runners.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it, man. Cap City Runners. Put the people on
Cap
about what
City
is it?
Runners every Saturday We meet in front of Fresh and Fly Clothing, where we don't create swag, we enhance it. I gotta throw that plug in there because that's the plug for Fresh and Fly Clothing, 13 South Pearl Street, Albany, New York, soon to be everywhere around the world.
Facts.
But yes, Cap City Runners is an initiative that was started by my brother Don. He's a marathon runner. He's like the coach of the team, and he wanted to just get out into the community and start people making sure that we are pushing and inspiring people within the community to know that health is wealth. You know what I'm saying? And the best way to do it is to get out there and lead by example.
Right.
So he put the call out like, yo, we want to start this run group. Run walk group because we welcome all abilities. You don't have to be an elite runner. You can come walk, you can come jog, you can ride a bike. All abilities are welcome, and we meet at Fresh and Fly Clothing 6:45 in the morning every Saturday morning, and we run at 7. You know what I'm saying? We do 5Ks, we do 5.5Ks. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't have to be, if you want to walk it, you can walk it. If you want to run it, you can run it. If you want to ride your bike, you can ride your bike. The main objective is to push health and let people know that health is wealth, and we got to better our communities, and the camaraderie that you get from joining other people that's inspiring you and pushing you to do better. You know what I'm saying? It goes a long way. It goes way beyond the actual run that we doing. You know what I'm saying? It sets the precedence for everything else that you're doing in that day and in your life as a whole. So come out, Cap City Runners, every Saturday in front of Fresh and Fly Clothing. We meet at 6:45 a.m. and we run at 7 a.m. And we're going to have more times to come. So tap in on Facebook. We Cap City Runners group. Tap in with that, and on Instagram as well, and on Twitter. We on all social media. And just tap in and get in tune so you'll know when the other races and the other events are happening. And it's all community based to encourage and inspire people to put health first, because health is wealth.
I like that. I agree.
Yes.
So on that note, would you ever or have you ever ran a marathon before, or would you run a marathon?
I would definitely run a marathon. I have not run. I've run a 5K before. Yes, but the goal, like right now at this point in my mind, I definitely feel like I have to do the New York Marathon sometime in the future.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta bite the big apple. You know what I'm saying? And go make sure that I run through all of New York. You know what I'm saying? Put these feet to that pavement. So yeah, that I have that as a goal. Maybe a longer than a shorter term, but definitely
So
a
you gotta
goal
keep
of
that
mine.
one long term.
Yeah.
So on that note, man, so that's like a challenge, right? So
Yes,
how do you go about challenging yourself? I feel like I feel like you kind of mentioned this earlier, like you're a very me versus me person. I'm my own competition,
Absolutely.
So how do you go about like challenging yourself? What do you what do you say to yourself in regards of like, all right, yo, like let's run this 5K, or but how does that work for you in regards to you challenging yourself?
My self-talk is like, you know who you are. Stop playing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get off your ass. Go do this. Go do that. You know what I'm saying? It's just basically about telling yourself, like, I know who I am. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like, if you know who you are and you believe in yourself, and it's like you always know that it's gonna be challenges. It's gonna be things that come before you, and if you made it this far, then you know that you can overcome anything. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nothing that's going to be put before you as a man, as a woman, as anybody on this planet that you can't handle. So I owe that. My self-talk is always like, yo, you know who you are, man. Go face this challenge. Go surmount whatever's in front of you. You know what I'm saying? And just use your head too as well, because sometimes you got to make sure that it's not ego driven as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you got to always have the mindset to want to learn new things and know when you have to make some adjustments in order to overcome certain things that's going on in your world, or that you're facing. But it's always like, I can overcome this, or I could do this, or this challenge that's before me is only a challenge, and I'm gonna surmount it. So
I like that.
I always have that in my mind.
I like that, man.
Yeah.
So we about to go into the fourth quarter of the year, man. Crunch time, basically.
Yes.
It's always crunch time, though. You know that.
Yes.
But we about to go into the fourth quarter. So, what you got in works for the fourth quarter, or first quarter, whatever it is, But what you got coming up?
Listen, I love the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter.
That's what legends are made.
Is the determining quarter in all aspects. I always think back to the Super Bowl where who was it? Atlanta and
Tom Brady.
Yeah, the Tom
Falcons.
Brady. Like,
Yeah,
yo, I was
legendary.
like, yo, that was a legendary fourth quarter right there. And I always look at fourth quarters in that way. Since that I had that great analogy, what I mean, or that great showing of what somebody can do and come back from and actually lead their team to victory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, in a situation like that. So I love fourth quarters, and I'm looking forward just to doing some more impactful things and the up and coming fourth quarter, as well as the up and coming years that's ahead of us. Dealing with the youth, dealing with the community, making sure that I'm tapping in any way, in any way possible that I can with the youth in schools, as well as writing my second book. I got that in the chamber as well. So
Okay, you heard it, y'all.
yeah, I already got the title for that and everything. So
Can we get a sneak peek?
Nope.
All right, fair enough. I had to try it though.
That's gonna be the third interview right there.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. You heard it.
But I do got a sneak peek for you with Change the World by Changing Yourself. The audio book will be out next week. So
Fire.
the audio book is coming.
Fire.
So if you're not the person that want to sit down and read it, you can pick up the book, the physical, tangible book, and also listen to you in your earpods, in your car while you're driving. Be inspired. Have the success manual on deck at any point in time in your life. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's in your hand or in your ear, you're going to have it in every aspect. But yeah, I got some big things lined up for the future of business, tapping in with the family, with the community, and doing everything that I can just to be a great impact to everybody that I come in contact with. You know what I mean?
That's dope,
in the fourth quarter and the years to come.
That's dope, man. Yeah, man. On that note, y'all, listen, change the world by changing yourself, man. You see it. Listen, man, go get the book, man. Go get the book. It's at what you said? You said listen, this is your yeah, go ahead. Let them know, man. Let
me run it down because it's on Amazon. Right? So you can tap in with Amazon. You comfortable with Amazon, tap in with Amazon. It's on freshandflyinc.com. That's the business website. Let's not forget that you talking to an entrepreneur right here, a serial entrepreneur. Know what I'm saying? Someone that has a clothing business that's been in Albany, the capital region, for over 16 years. 13 South Pearl Street, Albany, New York. The maker, the founder of Fresh and Fly Clothing. You know what I mean? You can also find it at Healthy Soul.
Yep.
Healthy Soul is another business, but that they got soul food there, but healthy. You know what I'm saying? You can get your smoothies there, get your salads there. The book is on deck there. The book is also on deck at Motor Oil Coffee. It's also on deck in Troy at Organina Juices. You know what I'm saying? Another health food store. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we in every place that's going to try to grow and impact you mentally, physically, spiritually.
Facts.
The book is on deck. So if you're in any one of those locations, and if you're not, you can pick it up online. Freshandflyinc.com is also on Amazon.com. It's also on every single social media platform that I'm on, which is pretty much all of them. Know what I'm saying? You could tap into my link tree, go right there and get the book. And the audio book, like I said, will be out next week.
Let them know your Instagram as well, where they could tap in with you on the gram.
It's Mr. Swag on Instagram, MR.S.W.A.G_ Mr. Swag on Instagram. On Facebook is Angelo Justice Maddox. You
got TikTok?
Yeah, I got TikTok too.
Okay.
On TikTok, it's Mr. Motivation Money Making Monday. Let's not forget about that. And on LinkedIn, Angelo Justice Maddox.
Heard it, man.
So all of those social media platforms, I'm there. you can find me. I'm easy to find. And if you want to come pull up to the store, you know where that's at as well.
Yes,
13
sir.
South Pearl Street.
Yes, sir, man. So once again, man, if you see the book, that means you in the right. That means you in the right spot, man. And if not, go
Absolutely.
get it. Amazon is out now. He said audio book is about to drop as well, man. So shout out to my guy Angelo Justice Maddox Jr. in the building, man. I hope this the sequel lived up to the first one, man.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I appreciate you for coming
It
through, man.
surpassed it. Know what I'm saying? It surpassed
I like
it. Better
that.
than the first.
I
Know what I'm
like
saying?
that. I like
Yeah.
that, man. And yeah, man, wish you the best going into the fourth quarter, man. And you know, let's keep kinging. We don't speak English, we speak Kinglish. So yeah, man, looking forward to you know, just more collaborations, more networking, and seeing your growth, bro. So
Yes.
yeah, appreciate you for coming too.
Likewise.
All right, we are out of here, man. It's your boy DJ Hollywood. Once again, shout outs to Blake Annex, man. Shout outs to my guy Angelo for coming through. And yeah, man, once again, if you're looking to do a podcast, man, hop over to Blake Annex, man, downtown Albany, and tell him Hollywood sent you, man. We out of here, man. It's more than music, and do not forget the 8, man.